This is Ryan Thompson with Endless Pursuit, and I just wanted to thank you so much for the response to video number 1 that we did and launched a few weeks ago. And I just wanted to say thank you for your response, and it just encouraged me to continue to push through and just to leave this video in your midst as well. Today I just wanted to talk about power in your praise and how there's so many times where my MS is acting up and obviously my face is still healing from my bicycle accident. If you are unsure of what that meant, go check out the first video and I'll explain a little bit more, but it's healing up nicely. I still can't feel some of my face, but it definitely is a huge challenge. And as I step forward in faith, certain days, your emotions are going to deal heavy blows with you. With MS, particularly, I think it is a huge struggle to always be on the right side of perspective and the right side of faith. And so, as I push through in recovery with at least my surgery that I had recently, that it has been a struggle. It's not always easy. It's not always the most difficult. It's not always the greatest to go after a most difficult situation. So. But just resting in, definitely, I've spent the last few days just resting and relaxing and just seeking God with all my heart. And it's just amazing how much God will show up and how much God provides when we just seek Him. That's all we do. We just seek Him. And I just wanted to instill today just the power in your praise. And so God says in His Word that He is in the power of our praises, and that He's in the power. There is power in His praise. And so, as I declare, God is good, God is great, and all those declarations of truth, God is in those praise. Either I feel discouraged or it doesn't matter what my emotions are or what my situations can be, but yeah, I declare those praises, and God is in those praise. Just like God says, 2 or more gathered, He's there. Just the same thing with praise. Like, God inhabits the praises of His people. And I just found that just truly encouraging, like, hey, I can have this utmost bad day, or I can have, just slightly off with my emotions, maybe I not be able to feel off my body, maybe my body's not responding the way it should be, but God is there, and, I just stand on the truth, so, my body may not be working right, but I put my trust in God, and when I put my trust in God, that is when He delivers. God is good, and I stand here today before you guys, just wanting to reiterate that, like, God doesn't care. Well, that's not the truth. It doesn't matter if we have multiple sclerosis. It doesn't matter if we have, healing things that need to be healed. It doesn't matter if we, whatever a situation be, if we're discouraged, we're depressed, whatever the situation may be. God is bigger than our situation. It doesn't matter what our situation is, and I think it's super vital just to like, God, you got this. Like, God, you got this, and you just keep speaking out. And when you speak it out, like when you literally verbally speak it out, that is when God moves. And so many times it's like I keep it in my head. I'm like, oh, God is good, God is good. But then when the tire hits the road, it's like, no, like, I need to physically declare them. And that is when God moves. Like, I've been reading through the Psalms, and you're like, God is good, God is good, God is good. And He always approaches every single Psalm like, like, this is my emotion, this is my anger, my frustration. And then by the end of every single Psalm, He's like, but God is good. I will declare His praises and stand on His truth. And it's just amazing that David was a guy after God's own heart. And he can come into these situations like of death, of depression, of discouragement, of like impurity, and all those things, all those situations that he found himself in. If he can go into the presence of God, and it's like, like, this is my heart, and then by the end of it, God's just like, well, like, He's like, no, I'm going to stand on the truth, and I'm going to declare it, and God just comes in and it's like, yeah, like, I'm going to be here for you, and this is what I'm going to do. And it's just a great reminder of what we need to do as Christians and as people that have a disability, or situations in our life that we constantly have to face. Like, this is a great great opportunity to always have our faith sharpened and refined, and I wouldn't trade any of this experience for anything. I truly think that my faith would not be as sharp as it is, and it would not be I would not be going on the path that I'm going on. So I'm greatly appreciative for the opportunity that I've gotten out of this, and that I can definitely see, like all things work good for the glory of God. So just put your trust in Him and rely on Him, and He will bring you through great things.